Welcome everyone. Welcome to another episode with Vastu with Rshmi. I have with me a former computer science employee, Rshmi Kumar. Welcome, Rshmi.
Hi, Alka. Thank you for having me over.
Thank you. So, Rshmi, today I have a question because viewers have been watching, and I got a text from someone saying, does Vastu make your life perfect? So, does everybody who live in a north and east facing home or have no problems in their life versus somebody who lives in a south facing home or a southwest facing home, right? Because you had decided about the degree, have all the problems in your life. Now, I grew up in a southwest facing home. So far, I'm okay. And I live in a north facing home now. But my life wasn't bad then, and my life is not perfect now, right? So where does Vastu come into play?
So it's a good question because I can understand there is a lot of myth that people have that only the north and the east facing houses are good, or the northeast is the best direction. And I have heard that when I was growing up. So, but you tell me one thing, are the problems only seen by people who are overweight, or the problems are also seen by people who are thin?
Yeah.
Like the cholesterol can affect anybody who is thin, or a cholesterol can even affect a person who is heavier. Yes.
Yeah, sometimes the person looks healthy, but they're not healthy.
They are not healthy.
Yeah.
So it completely depends on what the energy of the house is. Internally, if you're not good, right? And we went back to that thing saying that the entrance only plays 10% of the equation, right? The rest of the equation is, are the 5 elements balanced inside your body? Are the 5 elements balanced inside your house, right? If you say, okay, I have a north-facing house, but my kitchen is in the southwest, or I have a big pit in the southwest, or, for example, I have, say, the kitchen in the northeast. Now, as we mentioned earlier, the northeast and the southwest are supposed to be they're like the lifeline, right? One is considered the head and one is considered the heart.
Right.
In that case, if your head and heart both are affected, does it matter, are you thin or are you overweight?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. So the overall equation matters. Like even when people look at the horoscopes, right? Oh, just because my one planet is in the certain direction, everything is going to be good. No, you have to look at the complete equation, the whole picture, right? Just by having one single piece in the right place doesn't make the whole equation right.
That's right.
So you have to fit into the complete equation to see, is that all equation working for you or is it working against you?
But even if I guess the question for the skeptics,
Yeah.
right? And there's a lot of people out there who, including a lot of my family members, right, who don't believe in it and don't understand that if you are religious, so where does God come in, right? If you are religious. So there is a story from Guru Nanak Ji, right? And they said, don't put your feet in front of God, right? Somebody stopped Guru Nanak Ji and said, listen, you have your feet in front of God. He said, okay, take my feet and put it where God is not. Yeah. Guy was dumbfounded, right? Where is God not?
Yes.
He's everywhere. So now if for a skeptic to come in saying, if I have God and if I have faith, then is this a gimmick? Is this a money-making scheme? Okay. Right? So what is, like, what would you say to a skeptic?
Let me just summarize.
Yes.
I know some people use it as a money-making scheme, and some people have used it as a fear tactic.
Yeah.
And I was also part of it, right? That's how I got into it. I mentioned, right? Somebody asked for a big chunk of money to do the Vastu of my place, and I'm like, you know what? I'll learn it myself. I need to understand what it is and how it works.
Right.
Why should I even do it?
Right.
And did it show any effect, right? So I went it in a scientific approach way. But the reason for this whole thing is, if you don't believe it, it's not something that I'm forcing you to believe in it.
Right, of course,
okay?
Of course.
There's nobody who can change somebody's belief system unless they want to change it.
Right.
Right? We were not so, even though yoga has been in our ancient script for years together, people did not follow it, right? It was till the time the Western culture said, oh, this is something that we should be doing, right? Even the the new, which is called the brain yoga, super brain yoga, where they are saying that you should hold the ear loops and do up and down, or to increase the focus. This is called the super yoga. Now, did we not know this when we were growing up?
Yeah, our parents used to punish us that way, right?
Exactly.
Right?
So there was a scientific reason for it.
Yeah.
Like even piercing the ears for even the kids, the girl or a boy, was a common tactic. That is the way you balance some planets in your horoscope, to bring in the wisdom so the kid doesn't cry much. But see, these things went away over time, right? We became more westernized. We are thinking, why not? Why not? I name my child anyway, right? Again, numerology comes in. But earlier, if you see, the kings used to actually have certain priests who used to give a name to the child.
With Rashis.
With Rashis, with everything.
Yeah.
So eventually, we are trying to go more westernized and say, why is this working? Means, why should I believe in it? You don't have to believe it till the time comes. It'll get proven where. But what energy fields that we are talking about in the house that are getting developed are actually mentioned everything in the Vedas.
Right. No, so
they are coming from the ancient scripts.
Right.
Each of these energy fields has a certain characteristics. Okay. Somebody who do not want to believe it, it's fine. They can as well have like a huge mirror sitting in the southeast. That's fine too, right? But if they are coming across multiple accidents that are happening or mishaps happening, don't they want to question themselves that if you are doing everything right, what is that external energy that is affecting it? Yes. Now, the strength of the body, the immunity of the body is different for different people, right? And the way Vastu got introduced, right? Or at least the way I got introduced to Vastu was with the fear factor, saying,
right.
Oh, the kitchen only should be in this direction, and then only it will be balanced.
I think that's what everybody is worried about. Is this something like a fear tactic, right?
And it is not, and that's what the thing is. I realize it in the scientific way. There are right gurus out there who are teaching it that do not consider it as a fear. Do not. If you are able to balance your body internally, you don't need Vastu.
Right.
Like the yogis, they don't need Vastu. Or the people who are able to reinstate themselves once in the whole day, right? When you are able to balance your mind once in the whole day, and then you start programming yourself again for the rest of the day.
Through meditation and all?
It can be meditation, it can be listening to music, it can be through yoga, it can be any form. Okay? It can be any form. Somebody might saying, oh, if I don't sleep for 9 hours. Normal thing is, if I sleep for 9 hours, I'm fresh.
Yeah.
Okay. For them, that might be working.
Yeah.
Some might say, oh, unless I get up and I do my exercise and I go to the gym for an hour, I do not feel fresh. You need to know what works for you.
That's right.
Right? In this current world, we are so engaged in finding out what others like and others don't like. We ourselves really don't know what we like and what we don't. And I have been there. It's not like, oh, I know everything. It's like, I'm also learning about myself. Oh, this is the thing that I like about myself. If I am able to reinstate myself with the qualities or with the kind of elements I am built with, I will be having a better planned day, or I will have that thought process going, which will help me. Right? If we are not able to reinstate, you try to sleep for 5 hours only, then you eat something that is available, not eat fresh food, or
eat carbs,
eat more carbs, no fruits. And if your body is not meant to be in that way, you will start seeing problems. And we will get to the health section of it.
Yes.
But if you are not meant to do certain things, like I know a lot of Brahmins have this thing of not eating the meat. The reason being is if your body is not used to, your genetics are not meant for eating meat, you are trying to introduce something else in your body just because your friends over here in US are eating it and it's a cool thing and they start using those things. Your body is not used to it. You are adding extra elements, anti-elements for your genes, right? You will start seeing problems because that is not your state of body. Right. Ayurveda is completely based on the Tridosha, right? The Pitta, Vata, Kapha. Whenever the mother conceives a child, whatever is that chemistry, whatever is that equation, might be the pitta is more and vata is less, whatever is that equation, your body structure is that way. That is your normal state. When you don't put yourself to that normal state and you keep trying out different food habits, you will start seeing that, oh, when I eat this, I get,
so you'll always be out of balance.
You will always start seeing you go out of balance. So going back to the Vastu question, you do not have to do Vastu if you are able to balance yourself in some other way. What are we doing with Vastu? And this is this, I'm not talking about the people who are trying to do, I'm not into that factor. All I'm saying is that if you are able to reinstate yourself by any means, by proper food habits, by proper eating habits, by proper sleeping habits, and you are able to get over the situations, then you do not need to do it, right? If you are ending up into a situation, which again, I'm not going against God saying that you will not face the situation just because it's not in your destiny. If it's not in your destiny, you will not come into that situation.
Exactly.
But to come out of their situation is still in your hands. God is not saying that you have to suffer for 10 years just because it was something. But you still have a choice where do I go this way or do I go this way, right? Right? Like even when you're driving, you decide the direction, even if your the GPS is saying go this way, but you know that this route will give you a better direction. You have the choices.
That's right.
Right? We are making our own choices. Do we want to sit with the problem for too long, or is there a better solution which can help me balance it in a sooner way?
So Vastu is that sort of a balancing stick or a walking stick that you need for support that can kind of make your life a little smoother when you have a bit of bumps in roads.
Yeah, it's the again same thing, right? If you are having fever repetitively, then what do? You go to a doctor, because there is, the first time you have it, you popped in some medicines and you said, okay, this will go away. But if it has happened repetitively, you need an external intervention to tell you what is going wrong with your body.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
If that is the same situation happening at home, that's okay, somebody is not able to get married. They tried repetitively, they are not able to get married. So this is just a way to say, okay, these are the elements that are actually preventing you from this situation to happen. You might just do that and balance your house. You will get the right thought of where to go and find the right groom, right?
It kind of leads you to the path.
It leads you to the path much sooner.
Right.
It doesn't say that, now I'm not going to, the whole equation changes. It's not that way. It will make sure that it gives you the right thing at the right time.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you have a headache, you don't go to the doctor first time you have a headache,
exactly.
Right? But if you're repetitively getting it, and the doctor isn't saying that come to me, you only go to the doctor when you feel that there is intervention needed. But if you're healthy and you can maintain that balanced lifestyle, so if you can meditate and you can have faith and you can do all of those things and have your life balanced,
exactly.
So then you may not need a doctor or eat an apple a day. You may not need a doctor.
Yeah, but it's like what we are saying, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have a problem, don't go ahead and fix it.
Yes.
Fix something which is already working for you.
Yes.
And it might be, you might have your own equation of how it is working for you. It might be different for you. It is different for me because you are seeing the world in a completely different way than I am seeing it, because even though we are watching the same movie, what you get out of it and what I get out of it is totally different. So your equation, your body equation, your thought process equation is completely different than my equation.
It's so funny what you're saying, that you met two people. So I've seen, you remember B.R. Chopra's Mahabharata, right? I have seen it 4 times. And every single time I get something different out of it.
You're getting new insights because
so
now your
person gets a different thing, or
the same person, because your experience in life has changed.
You.
So that's what the complete surrounding is affecting us in a way in which we don't even know how it is affecting us. I'm not the same person. I must have mentioned you, right? When I was a kid, I used to not stammer, but I used to say a lot of and people used to tease me in my school. And I used to be like, am I the same person now? I'm not. It's like life has changed.
Life has changed.
Some things have changed. Like my skin used to have a lot of pimples when I used to be back in India. I don't know what happened all of a sudden. And I used to always wonder, it just vanished when I came here. The diet has changed. things have changed.
Yeah.
Because in India, we are used to eating a lot of oily food, a lot of with peanuts, and with the background I come from, we used to use a lot. So now that has changed. So now I know what suits my body.
That's right.
So you are getting more and more, what do you say? You are aware of your own likings and dislikes.
And you know what?
Once you start doing that, when you start paying attention, okay, this is the way I reset myself, and I get into a better mood. For somebody, it might be just watching a movie while resets their mood. For somebody, just going for a walk might reset their mood. If you know how to come off the situation with true colors, like nice colors out, your life will be much easier.
Yeah.
But if you are stuck in a situation where you don't have a clarity
where you're
of
doing
where you're
everything,
going,
and you're doing everything, and you're still not being able to get out.
yeah, means still that means you are not finding that right equation of how to reset yourself.
Right.
Right? Is like the same example I gave you earlier, that I was stuck in a situation where I didn't know a way out. I tried all possible ways of going and advertising, going to people and saying, please, can you do this? I did everything possible, but things didn't work for me. But when I introduced these 5 elements, it automatically attracts the right set of people to buy a house.
Yeah.
Right? So there is a science to it.
Yeah.
It is there in our ancient scripts. It's the same way, right? Gita was written, but people have their own versions of it.
That's right.
The version that I knew as a kid was not working. It didn't work, even though the house was so-called Vastu balance. It did not sell.
Yeah.
But this version worked.
But the
it's
small
a scientific
tweaks that you
version.
did. Yeah.
With small tweaks and with the scientific way, I wanted an explanation. Why is it working? So this 5-element theory that we spoke about in this previous episodes, the 5-element theory, all we are talking about, just balance the 5 elements and things will start falling in the right place. You will not end up getting stuck in the situation. You will find a way out of it also. It's much sooner.
But all that said, if you are on track, don't worry about it. You're on track. You don't. If something is not broken,
don't worry if you are in a southwest facing house. If it is not troubling you, don't worry about it.
Yeah. If your life is, and not everybody who's in south facing home is destined to doom. It's not like that. There's plenty. I believe Warren Buffett's house is in south facing, and so is Mark Zuckerberg's, for that matter. But that doesn't mean anything. It's whatever else they're doing that's balanced. And destiny, all of those things come into play. But we get this question again and again, and I wanted Rshmi to answer that, because Rshmi is different than a lot of the other people that I hear who say, you know what, if you have marital problem, life problem, physical problem, kids problem, financial problem, health problem, you're going to have a problem. It's life. You will have a problem, right?
But yeah, if you
what's
don't know the way out of it,
yes,
this is just a tool that you can use to simplify it.
Yeah.
You do not have to be a completely die-hard thing as, oh, I won't take this action unless I get the Vastu. No. Are you having a problem? Then deal with it.
Yeah.
Don't be so dependent on it that your life is not moving further.
Yeah.
So you don't want to go into
crutch.
2 extremes also.
Yeah.
Like, if there is no issue related to money, don't go and buy those frogs and keep it everywhere, because you're adding into the problem which has already been balanced.
Yeah.
Right? Don't go ahead and fix something which is already working. Try to only get it, and with proper consultation. Don't start chasing, oh, I read it on the internet. If you keep this in a certain direction, it'll work. It will not work for everybody. Trust me. The astrological charts actually play a bigger role.
Yeah.
Like Vastu is kind of little incomplete if you don't know your astrological chart.
Yeah.
Right? So
because
for
it's not generic.
for somebody, east-facing house must be working, but might be for you, south-facing is the best option.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? In a building, you see everybody has the same layout,
right,
from top to bottom. But if you find out they all are having different kinds of problems, not everybody has the same kind of a problem.
Right.
It's because for their astrological chart, that problem that you are facing in your house because of a certain door, that kind of a thing is not even activated for them, because might be the kitchen that is a problem for them.
Yeah.
For you might be so it is all so linked this all comes together. We have 9 planets, we have 9 numbers, and we have major 9 directions. Now, which astrological planet is active for you?
Yeah.
That astrological direction is working for you,
Right.
and you're getting results from there. It is not like the whole house is. So that's why when there is a problem, we don't go and start fixing the whole house. We only fix what the problem is.
Right.
That's why I say, if you don't have a problem, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Don't fix something that's not broken.
So and if you're a non-believer, so be it. Means you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
You don't have to go ahead and saying, oh, they talked about Vastu, so I need to now go and start fixing something which is not broken. It's working for you.
Yeah.
I also have a lot of people in my house who didn't believe in it, what I was doing. But when they start seeing how the clients are getting helped, right? At the end of it, putting a smile on a client's face makes a big difference rather than anything else, right?
Yes.
Means I left my job just because I'm like, okay, I'm sitting here and then I'm just writing some code or working on a project. But when I'm working with the end person, I see the end results.
That's right.
Right? It gives a different kind of a pleasure.
Yeah, and your small little change can actually help someone who's had a repetitive problem.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
And
Yeah.
it's like I can give you an example of a person who was working for me right now at my place, and his wife had a severe headache, and he asked me, he got another issue resolved from me, but then he comes back and says, you know what, I don't know how you could figure out that there were so many knives in that closet, but as soon as I removed those knives, my wife doesn't have migraine issues anymore, and thank you for that. And I'm like, see, that he's like now happy that those small things,
Small little tweak.
small little tweak, it didn't cost him like a fortune, but now his wife is much more healthier in the house. When he goes back home, he's not sleeping and having a migraine issue.
Yeah.
Right?
And if you have questions regarding Vastu or anything, there's an email scrolling on the bottom of our screen. Ask Rshmi. You'll see it. Give us send an email and ask us questions. But with the migraine issue, so that leads me to exactly what I was going to ask. Is my sister gets a lot of migraines. My brother used to get a lot of migraines. Clearly Vastu can help.
Yes.
What are some of the things that someone should watch for, whether it's headaches, whether it's migraine, same pain, sort of thing?
So any kind of health issues, to just summarize what we said, if you're not able to have a proper diet, so the diseases are coming either from your head or are from the stomach, right? It's the thought process can lead to anxiety, depression and all that, or your bad choices to go for drugs, no drugs, going for smoking, no smoking, or any kind of an addictions, any kind of an addiction. Or it is related to the stomach, where you are eating fatty, oily food, which is not good for you because you're not doing exercise. For some it might work because they are making sure that they burn it out. So the equation is different. Now, when person is not able to reinstate themselves, they start seeing different kind of health issues with them. Right? So if somebody who keeps their feelings within themselves, they will normally start getting arthritis issues. Because you are always like clenched, you're not able to express yourself, you start feeling the bones issues. So it's all with how we think, how we feel, what we eat is all linked. If you can balance that, then those issues will not. If it is not, then there is Vastu, which will help you make sure that everybody is
an
getting
external thing can be taken care of.
External thing. So your thought process changes and you know the right way. Oh, I should have tried that doctor. Or I should have tried this medicine. Anytime it is a brain related issue, I mentioned it earlier also, the Northeast is the main problem. Okay.
So are we talking about migraines right now?
Migraine.
Okay.
Any kind of, even like brain strokes.
Okay.
Or anything, or epilepsy.
Okay.
Anything related to the brain.
Like a seizure.
Like seizures.
Okay.
Northeast is the main part, which is having some kind of an anti-element there, which affects. I can give you an example of an ex-colleague of mine. At that point, I didn't even know whether I will be pursuing Vastu as my career. His mother, she must be in around her 80s, and she got multiple brain strokes. So he was in and out of the office multiple times. He was in tears. And you know what? I told him, through an ancient Indian science, we know that if the northeast of the house has a lot of nails on the wall, it might be one of the reasons for the brain strokes. So he's like, I don't even know the direction. I'm like, you know what?
So this is not an Indian person.
He's not an Indian person.
Because you're like Asian North Indian.
No, he is not an Indian person. And I said, you know what? Go stand in the center of the house and just take your compass, find where is the northeast, just stretch your hand towards it. Over there, do you see any of those walls which have too many nails on it? And he said, Rshmi, at this point, you know what? I can do anything if you tell me to do. And I'm like, okay, you can try out. He went to the mother's house, because definitely they were living separately. He went to the mother's house during lunchtime. He went and searched and he found it. And he did ask me what I should do. And I'm like, you just remove those nails. Make sure you take something to seal it. And after like 2 weeks, he comes back to me and he says, it didn't happen again. It didn't happen again, which was happening so.
I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah. All he could tell me is, Rshmi, I don't know what it is called, what you did. You don't have to explain it to me, but it worked. And I'm happy about that.
Oh, that's awesome.
So at that point, I didn't even want to tell him what I'm actually studying on the side. I didn't want to explain it because it doesn't matter to him. All he cared about is it worked for him.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Right. So it was amazing to see him. And this is a 50-year-old person sitting and crying. You feel like, oh, you know what? See, try this. It should work.
Yeah. And at that time, you're just like ready to grasp at any straw, right? So even if you don't know what it means.
Yeah, means, see, again, here it was, again, not money-making business. It was not something I'm adding a fear to him, but I'm just telling him, this is the possibility. Why not just try it? It worked, right? He's happy.
Nice.
So
if someone is getting a headache, and what should they do in the northeast corner? What should you watch out for?
There can be multiple things that can be wrong there. And it is like, again, everybody is different.
Right.
There can be open wires there. It can be extra nails added on the walls. So northeast is very sensitive part. Like, so is our head, right? We don't want to get our head injured. So it's the same way. It's the northeast is the head part of your house. That's why I say declutter.
Declutter.
Do not clutter the northeast of your house.
So what if you have a closet in your northeast?
Keep it organized. Keep only those daily things that you use. Okay. Oh, I'm keeping those comforters which I open up like once in 6 months. No, it can't go in your northeast.
Okay.
Right. So all those things which you are using on a day-to-day basis. Again, now if you have a kitchen, right, then there are different ways you can balance the gas, because now the fire is coming in the northeast corner of your house. It needs special balancing.
So does that need that? Then do you do color treatment?
Color treatments.
Okay.
But try to avoid it as much as you can.
Okay.
Because it might not be that it is activated for you. It might not give you effects. But there are 4 or 5 people living in the house. Somebody might be getting affected with it. Right? A toilet or something like that.
So when you have like, you have headaches, you start taking pain medicine, you start getting a lot of, and we hear this a lot now, is people get addiction to the pain medicine, right? Or that's one addiction. Then there's an addiction to smoking, and there's just addiction to alcohol, and there's addiction to drugs. So any sort of addiction, what is there a Vastu cure? Because this is a repetitive thing, right? Addiction is not a one-time episode. And especially with the kids today, early on they're getting into
choices, right? Somebody is making a choice,
right?
How to drop their certain brain waves, right? Because when you are, when somebody is consuming the alcohol, or their brain cycle drops, right? It is making you more peaceful. Your anxiety is dropping.
It makes you numb a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of numbness. That's why we say don't drive, don't do that. So all you're trying to do is reduce the brain. But now the choices is, are you going to go for meditation, or are you going for go for multiple pecks of some drink, right? So it is completely different on the choices. So first thing is to fix the choice. You need to fix the northeast of your house, so that you have better choices.
That's a mental area.
Mental area. Then there is a certain area in the northwest. If you have an entrance over there.
So every time you mention these things, I think of my own house.
Don't go there, don't go there.
It's a normal thing, right? You start to say, oh my God, I mean, I'm not addicted to anything, but it's a balance.
And it can be addiction to anything.
Yeah.
It cannot just be all the bad things also, but like somebody...
Addiction to shopping is also that?
Yeah, means there is different zones for it. Like now you are just spending a lot. There is a different way, that's a different symptom that we'll talk about. But if you have an addiction, one thing is there might be an entrance in a certain northwest direction, which at a certain degree, it does give you a kind of an addiction to a certain item. Plus, it also depends on where you're sleeping, where you're eating, where you're spending most of your time. It also depends on a lot more parameters. So it's not like one formula fits all. We need to see what is not working for you specifically. Right?
So for that, what do you
the
need?
habit.
So
where are you keeping the cigarette pack? Is that attracting you more because it's there?
Where is your alcohol?
Where is the alcohol? Where have you kept the open bar in your house? Right? Again, that is Vastu. That is interior. We are saying it's a subconscious, right?
Yeah.
Your Vastu is your subconscious blueprint. Now, where are you keeping that so that you get attracted to it more often? How can you make sure that your open bar is only used for social events and not on a day-to-day kind of a thing?
Yeah.
But again, if somebody doesn't mind drinking every day, then it's not a problem for them.
Right.
But if somebody thinks, oh,
well,
it is
the
a
child
problem.
may not mind drinking every day. The parent may mind that the child drinks every day, right?
Yeah.
So it depends on whose problem it is. The child
so where they are sleeping, are they drinking because of anxiety? Are they drinking because of the fear? Are they drinking because of peer pressure? It can be anything, right? Are they hooked on to that kind of set of friends who are addicted? Then that is a problem, right? So you want to make sure okay, where are the pictures of that friends kept along with them? Or where is the child sleeping, where they are. So you need to understand why are they addicted, because of whom are they addicted, and then the cause, then
you can remove it.
Then we can fix it.
So when you go for consults, you're asking all these questions?
Yes, I need to know. So the first thing when I come and I meet somebody, I just want to listen. Because sometimes, you know what, when they are telling you a problem, they are actually telling me the solution also where the problem is. If I get it that's perfect, right? If they try to hide something and then give me only the thing, that will take a longer time because eventually I'll reach to that. Like I did visit somebody's house and they didn't talk about any kind of an addiction. Their entrance is an addiction entrance. Okay, but then I met the other person of the house and that person said, yes, there is addiction problem with that. I'm like, see, you are not telling me whether there is addiction. But from my thing, I try to fix it even though they have not said it because I see it's a negative entrance. Okay, it will eventually give them problem down the line if it is not the problem right now. But then I try to slip in saying, okay, you need to put this color doormat over here. You do not have to remove this.
So even when people give you these things, then do you ask questions saying, I see a negative area in your northwest?
No, I don't want to scare them.
I
don't want to see. That's why I say you give me the complete problem statement. You give me the exact issues that you're currently facing in the house, which will help me pinpoint, okay, this is also creating a problem for them. This is also, not all the houses are Vastu compliant. My house is not like completely Vastu compliant, but it is not giving me a problem by having that item there. It is not like a fatal thing. It's not something which is, so let it be there. But somebody who is saying these are the 3 top priorities for me, I don't want to ask them to start doing changes everywhere in the house because you're creating an imbalance.
That's right.
Let's try to only fix
because the rest may be balanced.
Exactly. So it is the same thing as you go to a doctor. You are saying, I have a problem in my elbow. He's not going to start checking your knees and your toes and everything, right? It is completely dependent on what the problem is. You go to a doctor, you exactly tell him what is the problem. Yes, if you are getting an annual checkup, that's a different thing. For like, oh, is my house Vastu balanced?
Is my mental wellness okay or physical wellness okay?
At that time, I just go ahead and balance, making sure the kitchen is balanced, their toilets are balanced, and the entrances are balanced. That is a different thing. That is just making sure you're balancing the house and you're healthy. Right? Those are different kinds of appointments. But somebody who is coming with single point, like a health problem. This is the health problem I have and I want a solution for this. At that time, we are only looking at that specific health problem. We don't go and start changing, oh, are you also having marital affairs, or are you also having problems with your child? We don't want to go and fix things which they are not even talking about, right?
Right.
Just
because we the bigger problem of all of it right now.
But yeah, if I'm seeing a depression kind of a thing and I'm also seeing an addiction kind of a thing, yes, those are problems which nobody wants it, right? Even though it is not there, you don't want it to see it in the long run.
Yeah.
That you should, I try to fix it, but not like I go ahead and say, oh, that is also a problem, let's fix this also.
So is there something called a depression zone?
Yes. There is a depression zone. So very close between the west and the northwest, there is a depression zone, where a person, if they spend a lot of time in it, they start getting into the victim kind of play. So they feel victimized for everything. And then the first thing that they will start seeing is constipation.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like so linked. So if they start seeing constipation as the first thing, then they start feeling that it's a burden to be. So spending a little time over there is fine. But now if say, for example, you're not sleeping in there, or you're not, but if you have an anti-color in there, that is also good. So if you have a red color in there,
in the depression zone.
In the depression zones, I have seen so many people with thyroid issues over there.
Really?
Just because it's, so those things matter. But now when I visit a thing, they are not talking about thyroid. I see a thyroid kind of a thing, right? I know it, there is, so I go ahead and ask for health kind of issues. Are you seeing this kind of a health issue? If not, then it's fine.
But because sometimes people don't think, why would I tell
somebody
about a thyroid issue, right?
Yeah, because they exactly, so many people exactly don't even know how Vastu works. They have just heard about Vastu, it can solve my problem. And they're like, okay, let me try it out.
Yeah.
And they actually go with that mentality as, let me try it out.
Yeah.
But the intention is what matters the most. Are you willing to actually get that change in your life? Right?
Are you open to that change?
Are you open to that change?
Yeah.
And that's why, remember you asked me, if the husband is ready and the wife is not ready, I personally don't like to do that, because it's going to increase a lot of conflicts.
Yeah.
It is not going to give them the solutions as fast as I expect them to get, because for making every change in the house, they will have to go through a discussion, a conflict. And at that point you say, you know what, get yourself on the same page.
Yeah.
Or to get them on the same page, definitely one of them calls me and says, is there any way in which first we sort out our problems? I'm like,
so
okay, you get
wait, I've got the zone for that.
yeah, I'm like, okay, you put your pictures in this direction. Let's see, hope for the best. That's how it is.
So for a depression zone, what does somebody do to go back to the depression? Like if you're a child, because today we were talking, I went to a client's house yesterday, and anxiety and mental illness and mental wellness, and
even though they have everything.
Even though they have everything, and
this is like the first
or
world
unfortunately, social media, Facebook, right? They've really added to everybody's thing of, everybody's life is perfect, and why is my life not perfect? And this person has it all, and I don't have it all. And they were talking about that. They said, you wish everybody even knew quarter of what was going on in our lives, but our Facebook pictures are so happy, right?
Exactly.
Their daughter is suffering through something.
Oh, and I have seen that so many times. When you go to a restaurant, the husband and wife, they are not even talking to each other. They are texting with each other. And the minute the food comes in, they're like, oh, cheese, smile, and they will post that picture. People who are watching it don't know the equation before it, don't know the equation after that.
Right.
Okay? But they just see, oh, look, they went to a nice fancy restaurant. Look, they did this. Look, they are happy. Going back, when you see people in the restaurant, they only capture the minute when the food comes, they take a nice happy picture and they say, post it on the Facebook. People who are seeing only the happy moments of other people, they feel, oh, I'm missing it in the life.
Yeah.
The happy moments that come in their life, they are not able to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because
they're too busy watching other people's happy moments.
Exactly. They are too busy watching it. So I make it a habit, I don't even post all those things on, because, and I try to unblock. You can see that so many of the times the husband and wife are wishing each other happy anniversary. Oh, I'm so lucky. Why don't you tell the person who's sitting next to you? Might be things will change better for you if you just have a personal communication rather than a complete display on the Facebook, right? So people have lost this personal touch, or they just want, I don't know what it is, they just want to make other people feel bad, or they just want the praise from the other people.
Yeah.
But some people are mentally pretty weak, and their astrological charts will explain that they are not bound to this kind of a happy moments for others. They are not able to take it the right way. The reception is a little bad. In that cases, it is recommended that these people, it is really mandatory for these people to make sure that they sleep in the right zones, they spend time in the right zones, and there are simple astrological donations that can help.
So donate, give charity, right?
Yeah, but the right
Basically,
donation.
Right donation.
Based on what planet is affecting them the most. If you do the donation of those planets, that elements of those planets, you will be able to get relief quicker. So again, getting an external support to make sure that things work for you is better than just trial and error kind of a thing.
Wow, Rshmi, this is such a great, I'm like so excited about this topic because I know there's so many clients who are always, with that, we will be back with another episode with Vastu with Rshmi, and we'll talk about many more exciting topics. Thank you, Rshmi, for joining us. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.